say at all. That's a big change. So I guess just to run through the principles with the NDIS, it's about empowering Australian people with disabilities with the same rights as any other Australian. Okay, so it's really about that equality. Early intervention and prevention is a big part of it. If you can show them that any amount of intervention is going to help prevent the loss or try to slow down what's happening, anything you can do that is beneficial to try to keep you functioning at a high level as long as possible, they'll invest in it. Not sure with FA, I'm not sure about how much or what's available or what.
How do you prove that? Because we're in the same, all in the same boat. How do you prove that?
Well, do you know, I don't know much about the updated therapies and treatments, but is there anything out there you know of that's working really well that can slow down?
You guys might want to do it.
Even if it's diet?
Well, we know exercise, so training programs, and there's research available to back that up.
Yeah. That's the sorts of things that you could ask for. Okay, so that's just purely from an early intervention perspective.
See, because I'm different, I don't have a diagnosis, a specific I have something,
yep.
but I don't know what, so it's I'm in this grey area.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I need and what I don't need.
Yeah.
That's hard to prove if you go.
Just try different things. The NDIS, they're happy to do that. Take a risk, take a chance. If you want to give something a go, you shouldn't be withheld from doing it. I mean, at the end of the day, the thing about the NDIS, the name of the NDIS, National Disability Insurance Scheme, I think it's a bit of a misnomer. It should really be called the National Disability Investment Scheme, because they really want to invest in people with disability to get them to the best function they can be. Currently we've got a system that waits until crisis. Okay? They wait until the worst case, and your needs are really, really high, and they try to think about it. The NDIS is trying to get in early and provide what can we do to build on your strengths, to help support you, to help you to get to a better place. So that's a big shift. Okay, it's really about that investment. Early intervention is there for 0 to 6 years of age, as it's always been. They're not waiting for diagnosis. They're not waiting for a diagnosis. If there's signs of developmental delay, or they can clearly see that there's a problem, and you can show that any amount of investment is going to improve those outcomes, they'll do it. Why would you wait? Like we talk to mums and dads that have got kids that are ASD, and you go, how did the early intervention go? And they go, well, we didn't get a diagnosis until he was 10. And it's too late. They could have had that early intervention had someone had given them a label, but it took them all that time, the doctors reluctantly, to finally give them a label, and now they're like, well, now they're in a special school, they're behind, and their outcomes are much poorer as a result. So why do that? The NDIS said no, if there's signs of developmental delay, they'll do the investment early. Same with the early intervention in the trial sites, 64% are 15 years of age and over in one of the trial sites. So the early intervention is not just for 6 and under. People with disability haven't had that investment at all. We're talking about people with acquired brain injuries, you guys, MS, all that sort of stuff. They've never had that investment. If you can sit down with a planner and say, wow, this is what I've always needed, and I've never had it. If you give me this, it's going to help me to be more independent. It's going to help me stay in my own home, all that sort of stuff. They'll be like, yeah, no, sure, no worries. They'll fund it. You just paint that picture and they'll fund it. And that's, again, that goes back to that the insurance model. The insurance model is about reducing costs over time. Okay, so we're talking about dependence is expensive, independence isn't. Okay, so the more independent they can help you to be, the less it costs them in the long run. You see what I'm saying? So again, if you've got kids with ASD that aren't being supported and funded really well really early, they end up, long term, their outcomes are far worse. A lot of them end up in the criminal justice system, especially on the Asperger's end, because they had no investment in them at the start. Invest in the start, you get a different outcome. Okay, and then you get people that actually have got jobs, work, and can live quite normally and manage it. You don't get that by waiting until crisis. You get that from early intervention and investment. So it really is about investing early. Okay, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Okay, that's another way of looking at it. Why have a support worker to come around and open the door for you every day when you can simply modify the door? Okay, this is about independence. It's a huge part, and I think that's where a lot of you guys are going to be. Your independence is really important. Okay, how can you remain independent? What can they do to support you in your home, to keep you in your own home? Okay, so that's a big part of that insurance model. A lot of what we talk about, this is the community focus, a lot of what we talk about in all our sessions, I see people look at me, you know, really quizzically, you know, they're really like, the one reason they look like that is because what we're talking about makes sense. And when has the government ever done anything that makes sense? You know? And that's, I think, the hardest part of getting your head around is the fact that you've got a scheme that makes sense.